From the Social Justice Coalition today gathered outside the Cape Town Magistrate's Court to support one of their leaders arrested during a peaceful protest in the CBD.
Axolile Notywala was arrested and charged last week with contravening the Regulation of Gatherings Act. It's alleged he was assaulted by the police whilst in the van. The case was postponed to the 25th of next month. Our reporter Iviwe Poti has more.
Following last week on Thursday here in Cape Town, where members of the Social Justice were holding a peaceful protest that were community members there from various informal settlements here in Cape Town demanding proper sanitation and as well as water. There was the arrest of Axolile, who is from this organization. We're going to speak to him a bit more in terms of what was the build-up to this incident and why we're seeing a large number of members of the Social Justice as well as community members out here today in their numbers. And maybe if you can also explain to us why you were arrested.
We're here today with everyone that is here to support me in defending myself against the charges that were laid against me. When SABC said I contravened the Gatherings Act. I was arrested because I was asking questions. I was asking the officials that had thrown stun grenades, that had shot at people without having to attempt to speak to them, and people that were protesting peacefully, and because I was asking questions around that, I was arrested and I was in handcuffs for almost 2 hours without being told what I'm being charged for. And so the people that are here today are here to support me, but also to importantly defend our right to protest.
Speaking about defending your right to protest as well, we understand this is a clear message that from last week Thursday, from your side as well, it was a peaceful protest. Were you allowed to be in that vicinity? Did you get permission to protest in that vicinity?
Our protests have always been peaceful, and we don't actually need permission to be in that particular space to protest. The only time when we need permission, as we understand by the law, is only when we're protesting outside the court, such as here, and also outside Parliament. Otherwise, any other building, we don't need permission. We don't even now need to provide notice. That's what the Constitutional Court in November confirmed, that even if we don't provide notice, we can still be able to protest peacefully. The role of public order policing is actually to protect us as protesters, not to shoot at us, not to victimize us, or not to arrest us, but to make sure that our protest is peaceful, continues to be peaceful, and that there's no violence.
And prior to the protest, were the police notified? Did they know that you guys were there to picket, or did they try and communicate with you guys upon arrival before the stun grenades?
The police didn't know, but as soon as the police arrived, they all got into combat gear. They took their rifles. I tried, when they got up the stairs, I tried to speak to them. And while I was trying to do that, they released stun grenades while we were trying to communicate to us why they were there, and for them to understand why we were there. They didn't want to speak to anyone. They just released stun grenade and they shot at people.
Thank you so much, Axolile, for your time. Well, there we have it. Members of this organization has come out here in their numbers, not only to support Axolile, but as well as to reiterate that matter of their right to protest, their right to picket, also referring to a court case that took place last year, November. In terms of this court case, we'll be able to give you more details once we have enough information following through on the story as time goes. But for now, it's back to you in studio.